Hi, I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and you're watching the Zaleski Sports Show. This is our sports expert, Jason Zaleski, where we cover sports information for all level sports fans. We will be talking about regional, national, local sports information. We use hands-on demonstrations, visual aids, and statistics. So stay tuned and enjoy the show.
All right.
All right,
Let's
so
go.
the National Hockey League is starting their playoffs, or going through their first round of playoffs, and tonight the Canadiens play against the Rangers at 6 p.m. on NBCS. And then later on, the Oilers play against the Sharks after that at 9 p.m. on NBCS. Tomorrow, the Penguins play against the Blue Jackets at 6:30 p.m. on CNBC.
Wow.
So tell me,
a full night of hockey. I'm looking forward to it.
Yay. So tell us a little bit more, Jason,
Well,
about the NHL.
So you say playoffs, and what we're talking about, Rachel, is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Lord Stanley's Cup has been given out every year since 1893, and the 2017 edition promises to be very exciting. We had the Nashville Predators beat the Chicago Blackhawks last night in overtime. Very exciting game. Stanley Cup playoff games are always exciting, possibly some of the most exciting playoff sports that are available. So it's a lot of fun. Please watch. It's always guaranteed to be some excitement there on the ice. This year, as I look to the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Washington Capitals, winners of the President's Trophy, which means they had the best record in the NHL this year, are probably the odds-on favorite to win the Cup. So we'll watch Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, and Olympic Team USA Olympic hero TJ Oshie, and the rest of the Capitals attempt to take home Stanley's Cup. Rachel, I mentioned they won the President's Trophy by having the best record this year. A little known fact about the President's Trophy, in winning that, you also win $350,000. The NHL gives a $350,000 prize to that team, and then it's up to the team to divide from there. So I don't know if they divide in equal parts or if you just get a nickel. But that's the way that works. Other teams to watch for this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Pittsburgh Penguins are doing pretty good. Chicago Blackhawks could have been, but as we saw here in this overtime goal, that puts the Blackhawks now down 0-3 in that series. So they will need a monumental comeback to overtake Nashville and the Predators. I think the Anaheim Ducks could be a team to watch, and my dark horse this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs are the St. Louis Blues. They are up 3-0 over the Minnesota Wild over there, and look to maybe make some noise in the playoffs this year. So that's what we got going on in the NHL.
I used to play, or excuse me.
Wow, NHL star, Rachel. This whole time she's been saying she's just your host.
No, I never played hockey, but I cheerleaded for hockey, varsity hockey in high school. So that was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable to watch those games. It was awfully cold, but
Ice.
Yeah, cold. So go sports, go NHL playoffs. I wish the best team would win.
And they will.
And they will. Moving on to our regional sports, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Milwaukee Brewers. So they played against the Cubs last night. They won 6-3. Any other information you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, we'll hit on the Brewers here just a little bit. 2 weeks into the season, the Brewers are 8-6. That gets them a second place spot right now, behind the Cincinnati Reds by a half game. And what's funny about that, we did our Milwaukee Brewers preview last week and had the Brewers pick for fourth and the Reds pick for last. So right now the NL Central is tipped upside down. We're 2 weeks in. We're 14 games out of 162. So stay tuned, and certainly we'd love for the Brewers to have a great season. That would be a lot of fun. I picked them for 69 games, so I think they've got 61 wins left out of the 69 we picked them for. But listen, if they want to go ahead and win 90, please. That'd be a lot of fun around here, and we'd love to watch the Brewers win way more than 69 games. Rachel, you mentioned they beat the Cubs last night. Eric Thames now has hit home runs in 5 straight games. He's got 7 total. He's the major league leader in home runs. And the Brewers are major league leaders in home runs as a team with 25. So Thames with 7, Braun with 5, and Ding Dong City down there in Milwaukee right now.
Why do they say Ding Dong City?
A dinger is a home run.
Oh.
Yeah. Jot that one down for a 101 in the near future. That would be good to have.
Make some notes on that. So Now, speaking of Ding Dong City, also Milwaukee, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks, who won their first playoff game Saturday against the Raptors, 97-83. The Bucks play again against the Raptors tonight at 6 p.m. On the NBA channel. So make sure to tune in if you're interested.
Yeah, and Fox Sports Wisconsin, local. They'll be on Fox Sports Wisconsin as well. So, yeah, you mentioned the game on Saturday. They did beat the Raptors. Kyle Lowry kind of had a poor game. He was a big star coming in. As we watch some of the highlights here, only scored 4 points in that game. So look for him probably to do better than 4 when they play tonight. DeMar DeRozan, number 5 scorer in the NBA, had 27 the other night, and Serge Ibaka, all the way from the Congo, 19 points for Serge during that game. The Bucks side, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 28 points, Malcolm Brogdon, 16, and Greg Monroe had 14. So all the Bucks came to play. Everybody chipped in. What's interesting to me about the NBA playoffs a little bit, so the Bucks played on Saturday in Toronto, and now they don't play again until Tuesday. I'd just like to know from the NBA commissioner, Mr. Silver, what in the world do you expect the Bucks to do for 3 days in Toronto? And why are we waiting 3 days to play the next game? A little interesting to me. That's the way that I guess they do things in the NBA, and that is our NBA update. Of course, we wish the Bucks to do well. It'd be a lot of fun to see them, Giannis and the rest of the guys down there in Milwaukee, chip in Ding Dong City, and let's get a lot of wins in Milwaukee.
All right, fear the deer.
There you go.
So, in every episode, we talk a little bit about Sports 101, which kind of breaks things down a little bit. Last week, in sports, I should say. Last week, we defined what a shutout is in sports. And Jason has an interesting update on the girls' softball for Stratford this week. So go ahead and tell us what happened.
Yep, I will. So Sports 101 last week, we talked about a shutout, and that, of course, is when you hold the other team scoreless. So that's a shutout. Stratford pitcher Kiana Weiler did that all on her own on Monday night. Had the shutout. As a matter of fact, had a perfect game. 7 strikeouts and a 16-0 win over Wausau Newman. So let's back up a little bit. So shutout, holding another team scoreless. That's a great achievement. Going a complete game. That's another achievement for a pitcher. Having a no-hitter, right? So you went through the whole game. The other team didn't get a hit. That's one level up. Kiana decided to go all the way to the penthouse with this one with a perfect game. That means not a single Wausau Newman batter made it to first base. So excellent job. Way to go, Kiana, and good luck the rest of the season.
Very, very good. So this week's 101, Sports 101, has to do more with baseball. Kind of like, when you use the term strikeout, and in baseball you see like the big letter X. Excuse me, the big letter K.
Bowling is the X, and Des Bryant. Thank you. Okay.
So the big letter K, what does that mean, Jason, and why do they use that letter? What is the background with that?
So the letter K is shorthand for strikeouts. So 3 strikes, you're out, and that gets denoted in the scorebook as the letter K. Way back when, in the late 1800s, a fellow by the name of Henry Chadwick went out to start shorthand for baseball. And so he could score that game, make some shorthand notes so anybody could read them. He could do it quickly. You can go back, and each thing has its own meaning. And the K, well, here's how that happens. So sacrifice is a term in baseball, and so he labeled that one S. So the S was used. So the next, I guess, significant letter in the word strikeout is K. And so he chose K as a strikeout. And so now for Sports 201, a forward K in the scorebook means that the batter swung and missed and struck out. A forward K. A backward K, that batter was called out on strikes. It didn't swing. Ball was called as a strike. You're out. That's a backwards K. So there's K for strikeout.
That's pretty amazing. Thank you, Jason, for that information. That's something I didn't know. And I guess I didn't really understand when the letter is forward and when it's backwards. So.
Yeah, so watch for that. Yeah, watch for that. It's kind of a fun thing that a lot of fans do at Major League Baseball games, usually on an outfield wall somewhere. When a pitcher is during the game, you'll see them hang Ks along the railing, and that's what they're doing there. And now watch for the forward and backward Ks, and you'll know instantly how many strikeouts that pitcher had, and how many were swinging, and how many were called.
Very good.
Yeah.
Right, so moving on to our local sports section here, we are going to talk about softball, baseball, and tennis. So for the Marshfield Boys Tiger varsity baseball, they did have a doubleheader that was scheduled against Eau Claire North, but that was canceled. So the boys are scheduled to play tonight at Spash at 4:30 p.m. at Buchholz Park.
Yeah, sounds right.
So, you know, like most spring sports, there's just a lot of unknown weather involved, and so things just get canceled or moved around. So the Marshfield Girls Tigers varsity softball won their match against Merrill last week, 10-4. And then that match was relocated to be played in Merrill instead of home. And then the game that was scheduled after that against Rhinelander was canceled altogether. So the girls do play again tonight at DC Everest at 4:30 p.m. And then the Marshfield Tigers boys tennis, varsity tennis, they totally swept DC Everest 7-0 last Thursday. So
looks like they might have slapped them also. Huh?
And slapped them in the process, and spanked them. Their invitational against Chippewa Falls was canceled on Saturday, and so now the boys do play again tonight in Holman against those kids. So that's at 4:30 p.m. And then.
Yeah. And pretty good weather today, so everything should go. I just wonder, Rachel, who keeps track of all the schedule shuffling?
I don't know, because
it's a lot to keep track of.
It is a lot to keep track of, and even the dates, because it just says, you know, sometime it'll say postponed. And
well, I know when I was a kid playing sports, I just went wherever my coach told me to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's how they keep track of it. So.
And that's a smart thing to do. So our Zaleski Sports Show will be going Facebook Live next week when the boys tennis will be playing against Spash on Thursday that I know of in Stevens Point at 4 p.m.
Okay.
No, that's this week.
Well,
oh my goodness.
We'll figure it out and get back to you. Keep notes on our Facebook page, Zaleski Sports Show, and watch for us as we appear at your event, and we'll have a lot of fun when we're there.
I will find out too, and we'll put it on our Facebook page, right? So Columbus Dons boys varsity baseball, they played against Loyal last week, and the game was relocated and played in Loyal. However, unfortunately, the scores were not made available to their front office of the school, so I did not get any reports on who won or lost that game. Maybe next week I'll find out some more information. The Columbus girls varsity softball, their game was postponed against Loyal last week. They went and they beat Pittsville 28-8 in a non-conference game on Monday. And then now the girls will play again this Friday at Greenwood at 5 p.m.
28 runs, that's a lot of touch in the dish.
That is.
Yeah.
What's the dish?
Put that for the next show.
So other things to do around town this weekend. If you don't want to go to any invitationals or visit any sports, there are other things going on. On Saturday morning up in Medford is going to be the Pine Line Marathon. So it is a 26.2 race, 26.2 mile race, or a 5K walk and run. So registration begins at 6:30. The marathon starts at 8, and then the 5K starts at 8:30. So
yeah, a lot of fun up there in Medford. I've done the marathon relay before. Also done a couple of the 5Ks. Rachel, the best thing to me about the Pine Line is all the Tombstone pizza you can eat after the race.
Ooh, it was just so tasty. I've been in that race too.
Get up there for registration on Saturday and get pizza when you're done.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you dress accordingly. I know the high for the day is technically going to be in low 60s. Yeah. Sunshiny, but just be prepared. And then also, if running isn't your thing, you can go ahead and head over to the Central Wisconsin Horse Show at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Neillsville. Their show starts tomorrow and goes through Saturday. So they have a lot of great horses there to take a look at.
Are you a side saddler or a regular?
I've tried both. I prefer regular.
All right.
And so, anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching our show, the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and our sports expert, Jason Zaleski. We appreciate you watching. Make sure to send us any comments, concerns, email through direct email, which is zaleskisportsshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook if you just type in Zaleski Sports Show, hit like, and then you'll find all of our updates and interesting information. So thank you so much for watching. You guys all have a fantastic week. Stay warm, stay dry.
Yeah, go sports.
Have a good day.